Hello, Patreon friends, and welcome to Quests and Chaos After Dark. We've just finished the second episode of Swords and Sages. They actually made it into the module part of Candlekeep Mystery.
We opened doors, plural.
So many doors.
More
Like
doors
now-
or more books?
Yeah, exactly. It was
Doors and books.
This is what the place looked like.
Do we have more exploring to do, or are we pretty much at the end of it?
You're pretty much done.
Let's be honest.
There's like two rooms
Yeah,
that
that's
we haven't
right.
gone
There's
into.
the upstairs.
There's the attic up above, and then there is the dining room and the arboretum.
That's where creepy tentacle things.
Oh, and we haven't done the
attic
training room either.
I mean, look, that person was wondering why that mage doesn't have spells named after him. When your name's Fistandia,
Mordenkainen is not a better name.
it doesn't have fist in it.
No, it's this Standia, right?
No, it's fist.
It is Fist.
Oh.
There's a reason why we avoid saying the name a lot.
Yeah. I mean, those are just
Fistandia's fist. It's gonna fist you.
Workshop that one.
Yeah, wow.
That's why this is the After Dark portion.
Yep.
Oh my god. I
The joys
am
of fisting.
hopefully I can
Interdimensional.
get away, because I'm kind of monitoring the stream here and stuff, but every once in a while I glance over and I see the chat and I'm like, don't say anything. There's some really good stuff going on in the chat.
I kind of, that is one of the things that I miss about not being home, is having the stream open next to me so I can glance at the chat. But also, I'm so focused on what you fools are doing that it's a little hard.
When Dewey was getting killed, they're like,
wrecked.
it's Dewey's decimated.
Good puns,
Like,
guys.
Yeah. It is very fun to go back and watch the stream on Twitch again, which I do anyway because I am the queen of the clips and I go through and try to clip all of the good bits, which is hard on this campaign because it's all of them. But I also like to read the chat, after the fact and see, like, what commentary did you have? Did anybody figure out the password before we did?
Probably.
Like, all of that sort of stuff.
I'm just glad we gotta fight things. I'm glad I created a character that can fight.
Yeah, me too.
You did so good.
And I will say that there were a couple of fights in rooms that you went into that I was like, this is dumb. Why is everything wanting to attack them? I think it's stupid. Like,
Have you met us?
We did.
Little
bring
do we
that up.
know the portrait was supposed to attack us. Thank you.
well, like for example, in the trophy room, it said there were two crossed swords. Those are supposed to be animated swords that attack you. And if you had opened that jar that made James and Alondra go, oh no, it would have fought you.
Oh, yeah, no. Look, we might be level 1, but we have both definitely heard of those things, and
Oh no,
I don't
we're
want to
fighting
know
a
about
tadpole.
Yeah, but Spocky doesn't want anything to do with that bullshit.
Yeah.
The look on both of your faces when you recognize it.
No!
That was the fastest that we've ever agreed on anything. Nope, not doing this.
I was tempted to go after one of those swords, but
If you had gone after one of those swords, I think I would have gone with it being an animated sword and have it try to stab you.
Yeah,
But
it makes sense.
it said in the book that it was supposed to attack anyone who touched anything in the room, and I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But
D&D!
I cut out some of the fights because I think they're stupid. So,
we should
Oof.
have just been able to take them because then we'd have actual swords.
yeah. Well, do we have sages? I guess that is sort of the real question as well. Maybe that's
a fair
the.
point.
We technically have
We have
sage.
one.
We have one sage and we have 2 rapiers, which are swords. We just haven't used them yet.
they're whip stick swords. Let's be real
Not
here.
as fun as our mini swords, so.
Yeah.
Those mini swords were like on tonight.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, they
carving
were.
stuff up.
So what? I have a second level spell slot for
You do?
a specific spell. So
Oh.
because of my subclass or my whatever I am.
I was about to be like, oh,
Not subclass.
Yeah, I was like, how did you level up ahead of us? But
So I have like 2 extra spell slots, sort of.
Sort of.
But it
So
can
I-
only be used for one specific.
So I have inflict wounds and invisibility.
Oh, because you've got the shadow touch.
I'm shadow
feat.
touched, yeah.
Ah.
Oh.
All right. Everyone's like, ah.
I am very familiar with that feat because
don't even know
Elspeth is
what
also shadow touched.
Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Show us on the doll where the shadow touches.
God.
I don't know, it's a shadow.
Maybe instead of being a medical doctor, I should have been a therapist.
Yes. next
Maybe I'll have a
session
better
is just
flavor.
the
You're-
therapy session.
Yeah. Are you sure you just don't have a PhD in like?
I mean, I guess
Horribleness.
I'm just starting my studies. I technically have time to switch directions.
You know, at one point you were introduced as a doctor, and then you were introduced as I'm just starting out. I'm like, are you a doctor?
Sir, that is my wife. You want a question?
Oh no, she'll absolutely introduce herself as Sabachthani Moreover, but you can call me doctor. But you also have to remember she's like 300 years old and a bored socialite, so of course she's using the title that she hasn't earned yet.
Makes sense.
So, you know, you're saying that you took off some of the encounters and stuff like that, but, you know, this was kind of a dungeon crawly sort of thing. How'd it feel running a dungeon crawl for? Like, we would just split up at the drop of a hat, and that, you know, that makes the dungeon crawl a little more complicated as a GM.
It makes it a little more complicated because my biggest concern is that I don't want to be away from any of you for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes is okay-ish, but I can see people starting to get like, okay, when are we gonna get to me? Whether or not you mean to. I mean, I do exactly the same thing where it's like my brain is drifting off because you're not doing anything that's interesting to me.
We're the cats in the module.
You are totally the cats. So it was complicated in that respect because I didn't want to spend too much time away from anyone. Keeping track of it mentally, it's why I printed out the map. So I could glance down at it and be like, okay, they're here. I'm checking off the places that they've gone. The X's are where fights could happen.
That's a really good tip for GMs. Like that's a good use of a map of like just beforehand being like, okay, these X's are rooms where things might happen, and so you know if all fails, just fast forward to that. I think that's a really nice way to manage that map.
And also very smart because you, like, in this scenario, it was almost inevitable that at some point we were going to end up splitting the party, whether intentionally or not.
Right.
But especially because obviously we are kind of chaotic, just a little bit.
My biggest worry was that one of you was going to stay out in the reading room when he stepped out into it because him leaving was what triggered it closing.
I figured, because my character might have done that, but I was like, well, that's not going to be good storytelling.
Right.
And that would be like, well, you'll find out what happened to him next week.
Go sit in the other room and think about what you've done.
Well, there would have been stuff happening is the thing. Whether or not you survived those things happening would have been an entirely different issue.
Spoilers.
We'll find
Again,
out.
blood-curdling scream. I am fully expecting that we're just going to walk into pure carnage, and I'll be like, that was a bad choice that he made. I see now. The password is important.
It's the octopus friend, Olivia.
Maybe we shouldn't name the Eldritch Horrors, sweetie. When you give them a name, it gives them a sort of power.
Olivia!
Oh,
It makes them harder to kill.
Olivia would never hurt us. Oh, Olivia would hurt
I just ate someone's brain. That's unfortunate.
But yeah, keeping track of that was actually, I mean, because you never split the party more than twice. Had one person wandered completely off on their own and split the party 3 ways, then I might have started having some trouble. But keeping track of where 2 groups are, since you were all stayed on the same area at least, if not the same floor, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I noped out of my go off on my own. I was like, this is really this is a bad idea with 3 hit points.
And what's
like,
funny was that unless you had figured out the planetarium puzzle on your own, there was no combat in that direction.
You went the right
But
way.
I think it was in character for you to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Where did everyone go?
I'm alone.
All by myself. Not again. No.
Everyone leaves me.
I imagine in Dewey's backstory too. You know, he went off on his own and then missed something, and then finally went to come back, and they were gone. So it was. It would have just stayed with him.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma's fun.
Hard not life.
We're gonna have to have a therapy.
Pity you're not playing Quinn in this one.
Don't even get started on, Les's trauma. That's...
You brought that on. You fully brought that on yourself, though, is the thing.
For the best reasons.
So one thing I do want to mention to you guys to think about for next week, because I don't think it's a spoiler to say we're going to finish the module well before the next week.
We won!
Tell me what happens.
No.
Ouya just pieces out.
We won, but we left Ouya behind.
So you
Look
won.
at, did anyone do a head cap?
Hey, where's the kid?
He's so short. I forget to check for him.
One of the things that I would like you guys to think about, I'm going to be using the downtime rules because you're probably gonna be in Candlekeep for a little bit because you have been successful.
Yeah.
Start thinking about your level ups because you're gonna level up after this, and think about what you want to do for a 10-day of downtime. And the rules for that are, I believe, in the DMG and in Xanathar's.
I believe so.
Yeah, so basically it's, you have a 10-day of downtime, you can investigate, you can worship, you can go and do some sort of wrestling match. I would not recommend that.
You know what? Why not?
There's a downtime activity
Booyah
called
off the top
carousing. I
rope.
did not name this.
I was gonna say, don't worry, Lester and I have at least 7 of those 10 days already sorted out. Then I'll be reading for the rest of them.
I'll be recuperating.
With your mint julep.
We keep
Hydration is important.
You're not wrong.
Well, yeah, when two wizards love each other very, very much. They share spell books
When
and
two
let each people
abysmal-
copy out of them.
But one of them's a bard and one of them's a warlock. It doesn't work.
We're not the wizards he's referring to.
Nope, I'm not. Nope.
You got any necromancy spells?
What are they doing? They're sharing
Oh my god.
But that is something that people who are of a wizardly bent could think about is getting spells copied into their books because, frankly, Candlekeep owes you a favor now.
Yo, give me lots of money so I can copy all his spells.
I mean, how long do you get to? How much longer do you get to stay? Is the question. I'm telling you, man. If we just closed that door, could have stayed forever.
Well,
But
that's
we wouldn't have found all this cool treasure that we. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been whomped on by books.
But now we have this cool book weapon, so we can womp them back with their fallen brethren.
Who's gonna-
It'd be, like, ironic.
Who among us is going to use a book weapon?
Absolutely me. None of my weapons are practical.
Yeah, you should keep
I am
it.
a bored-rich socialite bard. I do nothing helpful.
Do you have proficiency with martial weapons? I don't remember.
I don't remember. Probably not. I'm a level 1 bard.
Bards have
Reality hits.
I'm a level 1 bard, and I don't even play instruments. Like, let's be clear.
Yes, you do.
I mean, mechanically, yes, but like functionally, it's more of like mom sent me to finishing school, so I have instruments.
That's completely fair.
I wish you wouldn't call me that.
Sweetie, I did not meet you at finishing school. Mother would never.
I was already done.
Mother would never. Well, Ezra, what are our quotes for tonight?
Oh yeah.
No, one of them is cheating because it was a pregame, but normally I narrate my meals. It's a good way to pretend to be useful. A little shockwave of Southern.
Oh, that was good.
What don't I find? There is a wide selection of well-cooked meats. Use your mini sword. Lots of really terrible things that might be coming after us. Is there anything weird about picking up the boy? It was inanimate before you got there. I have never been assaulted like that before. And I think the clear winner, how many books do I have to fight today? That's like our snakes on the plane right there. It
How
just,
many motherfucking bugs on this motherfucking mansion?
it just sets the premise right away.
I do like that our party name is clearly channeling towards being the CPS. I hate it, but it also is feeling more and more inevitable.
I'm hoping the children protect us.
I mean,
I consider them ablative armor.
You know,
the look on James's face. I just love that Thomas has made it all the way through this dungeon crawl. Let's be clear, here it is, with no spell slots.
Oh, I had spell slots. I just didn't know I had them.
That feels.
oh yeah, I could have been invisible this whole time.
Also, I don't have really any attack spells, so
I mean, Ray of Frost is an attack.
I have Ray of Frost.
That's as a cantrip,
Yep.
though.
Yep.
I mean, that's like nowadays,
I do have grease.
and I mean, it's
Excellent.
a good evolution of D&D, but like spell slots don't matter as much because cantrips are super useful and
Yes.
are used as much as you want.
And
so,
level with you.
Yeah. And so, it's not like the old days
Yeah.
where,
Right.
cast my spell for the day. I'll
It's
be over
cross-
here with a sling.
Crossbow time.
I will say that you taking away 10 feet of its movement, it had exactly 10 feet of movement.
Yeah.
See, that was helpful.
Yeah.
You did a thing.
You did a thing.
I could have done it invisibly.
Well,
Once.
you would have dropped exactly. You would have dropped invisibility
Yeah.
as soon as you did it. All right. Any final thoughts for our Patreon friends?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
for being Patreon.
From the bottom of our hearts, we really do appreciate you. You are a big part of the reason why we are able to do this, and I would not want to be anywhere else. So thank you so much.
That was also a suggestion from chat that came up at the break that I chimed in on, was that people would love to hear our pre-show banter, and I suggested that we should make that a higher level Patreon. If we hit a certain monthly goal, then we'll do a special occasional stream where we record our pre-show banter.
You hear it? You heard it here first.
I'd rather be in Tahiti.
I'm just saying, sound off. Let us.
I don't like too much heat.
One of the other things that was mentioned on the Discord, which you should join, is that patrons would like homebrew stuff that we do. So if it's like whatever we do that's homebrew, if it's a map, it's a like Occupara, I'm sure that there's a whole plan for that, and that's Bo.
Yes.
But I'll give you guys alacrity now that she's level 20. And
Please don't.
Oh boy.
Those fast elf zombies, though. I'm sure
Yes.
someone would love to see those.
I will put those up. Yeah.
I don't make stats for things. So I can't really. I still don't know what a parrot shark does.
Parrot shark.
I just make it up.
No.
Although I know that James homebrewed a bunch of stuff. I'd love to see the Muscana stat block at some point.
Yeah, actually finish it.
I've been going through and uploading the Tales of the Argent Sword, so I've been
Did we
remembering
change the
how.
name?
Yes.
You did, yeah.
It has its own. You guys should check that out. The Dragon of Icefire Peak game has its own stream now called the Tales of the Argent Sword. People have been apparently finding it because there's been downloads.
Which is pretty incredible.
We haven't mentioned it until this second.
And I didn't it didn't hit like the places until yesterday. We had downloads before I had even put it on Spotify and
That's
Apple Podcasts.
Weird.
Yeah.
Cool, but weird.
Yeah.
Good hashtags.
Yeah.
Finding it in all those crazy places as I go to look it up right now.
Yeah. Tales of the Argent Sword.
Huh.
Because it's us. That's them. It's us. So thank you guys again so much for hanging out with us in the After Dark, hearing all of the stuff that we don't put on the streams, and all the conversations about, DMing philosophy that we have back behind the screen. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.